Anyway, so as promised, just in case you don't know how narcissists work, and mind you, I'm going to show you the kind of letters that my narcissist mom writes me. She's always done this, okay? So she's done this my entire life. This kind of desire to like, I could be doing anything. I could have been like, you could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to study leather making. The woman will read up about it and then try to act like she knows more than you about leather making and all this, right? Mind you, you can always go to my page, and this is what I was talking about. This response came after I put up the video talking about the neighborhood. And mind you, I do not talk to her. I did not talk to her for Mother's Day. Nothing. No one communicates with her unless it's like a dire situation, which is hardly any, right? Because when I've tried to be like, okay, give her another chance, it never works because, like, I'm telling you, this is the person who was my handler when I was younger. Like, these folks that are in these bodies, they are not really what you think they are sometimes just because they're your relatives. So, um, you know, I posted the video. Do not talk to her. I never tell her to look at my pocket. I don't have her on Facebook or anything. Took her off. Okay, so she can't really see anything. But it's just to show you how the monitoring spirit in them, that Jezebel spirit, like they just be keeping up. Keep in mind, most of the time you watch half of my videos on TikTok, I just go talking because I just know Simlandia is watching. But I'm just saying, if from a real world perspective, my stuff is always shadow banned. I do not have a lot of followers. My podcast doesn't have a lot of followers per se. Okay. So when she's saying like, and people are trying to help you, but you know, I mean, just listen to the email. All right. Just take a look. I'm going to read it to you. Good to see you visited the family site. And this goes back to because I was talking about like that thing with the stocks, and that was the only time maybe a couple of weeks ago to a month ago where I asked like, do you know what happened to that account when I was younger, whatever. And then that was like months ago actually. And then weeks after that, like, or when there was another distraction that they wanted to distract me from going on here, she sent me that information about my grandfather and all that, and I think I did a video about it, right? So I haven't spoken to her since then either. So she just needs to start the conversation somehow because we don't talk. So she's going to start off by saying, I guess, that she went into the website and saw that I updated my family tree on the website. So she goes, you left America, but you are still behaving like an entitled American. Here I am, me. This phrase is a reminder. Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. The worst kind of immigrant is one who has nothing good to say about the country that's allowing them to stay. They don't invite us in. We choose to go there. Mind you, I've never spoken bad about any of the countries that I live in. I can give a critique as anyone else. And like any of my podcasts, if anything, I've always told you that as far as me coming to France, I feel like God brought me to France because this is a Christic land. It's a land covered under the blood of Jesus. It's under the prayers of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It carries a natural feminine divine. I've always been visiting France and coming on vacation to France. But she would say things like that even like when it was like Spain because she just says things. So just keep reading. This is how narcissists work. Watch. I noticed that there are lots of people trying to help you. If they have seen your rants and still come on your podcast, that's an act of kindness. Appreciate that gesture. Stop giving the Matrix all the tools they need to manipulate you. You are smarter than that. You are more focused on the action of others than on your own actions, like giving away your power of privacy. This is because they want you to not post, okay? Notice that hot and cold, they're trying to like try to make you say that you're smart. None of this works on me anymore. Like absolutely none of this that's the whole idea that like I've been away from her so long, she's still using tactics from like when I was like 16 or younger. Giving clues to others who can build a case against you. There she's trying to be threatening. See that? Anyone trying to discredit another person is only discrediting themselves. Who am I discrediting? I've not shown anyone's face. Only people that I actually discredit are departments where I show you the receipts for. But let's continue. Even though you say you are following Jesus, you are still harboring hatred and resentment. Be brave. Work on those things. Love you always. Classic narcissism, right? And if you and like I'm telling you, when I would send these letters, because I used to send it to my friends, because when I was like in my 20s, I would be like, like I would ask people, I'm like, don't you think like that sounds weird? Isn't it weird that she writes me these kind of things? Did your mom write you things like that? And people would say, like, yeah, like what is she talking about? Number one, like I said, I have no communication with this woman. Like I would be shocked if she is subscribed to my sites, because I've deleted her from Facebook. So if she's still tagging along, that's that Jezebel spirit of jealousy. That's that Jezebel spirit of like trying to, these are classic ways that narcissistic parents do these things. I'm going to put this because, like I said, everybody's going on blast. I don't care. But it's not out of resentment. It's out of the fact that, like I said, my thing is, if I don't deal with you, I don't really care about you because you're not in my circle, you're not in my view. And I think I've done the best thing, which is to distance myself. You don't see me writing her any emails, obviously. So, and even in the book that I wrote, because we were still kind of like, she was like ill and everything like that, I didn't even write like that many negative things about her. I really mostly talk about how she is narcissistic. And obviously, here's the receipt. Okay, because again, I always bring you receipts for what I'm talking about. Okay, so, and imagine that's the kind of mind game that would go on when I was younger. I've seen other videos, now that I'm older, of other people who also, show how their parents act. And it's so crazy how they all have that same kind of behavior. And again, this is why I keep telling you, narcissists are demons, they're demonic. And I always remember that I had dreams when I was like younger about her. There was one when I was 16. I remember in the dream, it was supposedly like she was like dancing naked. And I was like, why is she dancing naked? And then she says to me in the dream, be careful that you're not a demon. But I feel like that was like a projection of her being a demon. And then I always tell you that like I would have all these dreams that like when I'm with my kids or doing things, like when stuff was happening, when mischief was happening, when I miscarried, it was actually her taking the pot with the white rice in the dream to destroy. So all my sleep paralysis, all these kind of things, a lot of things I went through spiritually when I was younger were when I was living with her. I used to get really bad sleep paralysis living in her house. After I left her house, it really toned down. And then as I got older, like I would get it like sporadically. But like, this is what I'm telling you. I specifically had a dream where when the last time I went to New York, when I was in, she had the nightmare in the other room, and that's what woke me up from my nightmare, where a man who was supposedly Satan in the dream was telling me, you don't have a mother anymore. And it was like some kind of like clinical environment. You don't know what I don't know. Maybe she was, I don't know, because sometimes I might say, like, when she was younger, I mean, obviously she put me through college. She, you have good memories. But again, we were asleep. So, for example, even in this message, right, where she's like, love you always, you're so smart, you're so this, where she's trying to pretend that she's being kind. Mind you, in a sleeping mind and a person who's not fully aware, what you're going to do is you're going to remember all the sweet memories, and then kind of like, I don't know, like that's what kind of plays with your mind as you get older, because then it's like that tug of war. Had I stayed in New York, this is what I would have been under. I would have been under that on a daily consistent basis, like just someone talking in your ear over everything. And mind you, even when you're not asking them for their opinion, because nobody asks her for her opinion. You know what I'm trying to say? And you see this kind of way of trying to make me feel insignificant, like saying they're helping you. If they're still helping you, like, what is it? What are you talking about? Like, nothing that I've posted does not have any receipts to it. But this is the manner that they try, and the matrix itself with the archonic system tries to put doubt in you so that you don't speak, so that you're unsure of yourself, so that you can't be your authentic self to speak your truth and say what you want to say. It's a way of trying to handling. And like I said, if they had to call her in, then they're really slipping.